Hello everyone and welcome back to Digit.com, a platform where we make life simple for management students worldwide. In this video on the subject of service marketing, we are going to cover the topic on physical evidence. The environment in which a service is delivered is termed as physical evidence. It creates the first impression on customers about the viability and the quality of the service to be delivered. In this video, we'll be covering the example of how Singapore Airlines has perfected the art of creating a brilliant physical evidence in the sky. So now let's start with the topic on physical evidence. Generally, a service transaction involves the interaction of the service provider with the customer in a service environment. Physical evidence is termed as the social environment along with the tangible cues where the service provider and the customer interact. Zeithaml and Bitner define physical evidence as the environment in which the service is delivered and where the firm and customer interact and any tangible commodities help in performance of the service. Moving on to some examples of physical evidence. First, in the case of hotels, physical evidence of a hotel room includes a well-furnished room, warm decor, good room amenities, clean linens, etc. Additionally, it also includes smart TV, hot water kettle, mini bar and refreshments, bath gels and shampoo kits in the bathroom, and many others. In case of a fast food joint, the ambience is usually vibrant and colorful with a casual setup and peppy music to appeal to the youth. The digital menu boards, tables, chairs, peppy music, trays, dustbins, etc. fall under the gamut of physical evidence of a fast food joint. Moving on to hospitals. Physical evidence of a hospital room typically includes sanitized ambient conditions, clean linens, sober colored furnishings, etc. Additionally, it also includes the uniform of doctors and nurses, medical equipment and devices. In case of a college, it includes a Wi-Fi enabled large campus, classrooms and an updated library. Inside a classroom, an apt environment includes clean floors, brightness of the rooms, proper ventilation, wide whiteboards, and good audiovisual support. Moving on to the industry of banking. A bank's physical evidence involves well-defined counters for each type of banking service. Additionally, it also includes spacious seating area for customers while they await their turn and technologically advanced computer systems. And finally, in the case of airlines, in case of an airline, the physical evidence includes the aircraft's exterior and interior, more specifically interiors as passengers spend the maximum time there. Cabin interiors, lighting, temperature, well-dressed cabin crew, comfortable reclining seats, and in-flight entertainment constitute the major part of physical evidence of an airline. Now let's move on to some live examples in the case of physical evidence. The first example on Singapore Airlines A380 First Class. Inside Singapore's A380 First Class suite that features a full bed, private bathroom and large leather armchair. On board the A380 is Singapore Airlines' swanky new First Class suite which features up to 100 square feet of living space. The suite is an upgrade from the original A380 First Class cabin that debuted in 2007. Since then, Singapore has retrofitted its current 380s with a new suite which was first introduced in 2017. Here is a large leather reclining armchair. Moving on to the next example of hotels that serve a special experience after the dark. In this case, examples of the Oberoi Amar Villas in Agra, India. The next is JW Marriott Maldives Resort and Spa in Maldives. Great Plains Conservation, a South African-based conservation organization. And the Nautilus in Maldives. Now moving on to understanding physical evidence better. Physical evidence includes two areas. They are Servicescape and tangibles. Let's look at each one of them briefly, starting with Servicescape. Servicescape is further divided into three parts: ambient conditions, space and function, and sign, symbol and artifact. Now let's take a stab at each one of them quickly. First being ambient conditions. Ambient conditions entails the following. First, quality of air. The temperature and quality of air in any service environment plays an important role in customers' moods and temperaments. The quality of air also relates to humidity, dust-free, freshness or naturalness of air. Restaurants have separate smoking zone as to maintain good indoor quality of air. In aircrafts, bouts of humid air are pumped into the cabin to maintain pressure levels for flying at high altitudes. Next, sound and music. The sound factor indicates the impact of volume on customer habits and reactions to a particular service. In hospitals, there are dedicated silent zones in ICUs and operation theatres. Music and beats also have psychological effects on customer behavior that eventually adds to the service experience. some hospitals play soft, soothing music and spiritual chants to foster calmness in the environment and wellness for patients. In the same way, jazz music is continuously played in 5-star restaurants for the experience of fine dining. Moving on to the third element under ambient condition, and that's smell and fragrance. Did you know humans are able to recognize approximately 10,000 odors and more impressively recall smell with 65% accuracy even after a year? The best example in this case is of the Oberoi Hotel in Mumbai, in which diffusers are placed in common areas that set off a particular fragrance by forest essentials. The essence that they use is of a specific Madurai jasmine. Moving on to the fourth element under ambient conditions, color. It relates to the attention and impression a customer would develop at the first instance of the brand while consuming the service. For instance, yellow catches attention sooner than any other color. The school buses are mostly yellow, indicating due caution to other vehicles on road. Play schools, on the other hand, are made more colorful and attractive, making learning rooms alive. Hospitals typically have white interiors as the color relates to purity, calmness, cleanliness, and a sanitized environment. Moving on to the second element under Servicescape, space and function. Under space and function, the first sub-element is décor. The concept of décor can be well understood through the example of a restaurant. The décor at various restaurants denote the themes they adopt, as to acquainting customers with their distinct identity and ambience. Chinese restaurants typically have an authentic Chinese decor and music. Most outlets have a familiar decor with at the entrance and a wall of gold jars, rosewood furniture, and subdued designer lighting. Next is the layout. It reflects the spaciousness, ambience, and seating arrangements in which a service is delivered. For instance, some restaurants have a private dining area for larger families so as to avoid inconvenience to other guests. On the other hand, pharmacy and hospitals are strategically located on the ground floor for easy access to patients and their relatives. And the sub-third element under space and function are the facilities exterior. Typically includes the exterior of a service location. Customers form the first impression about the service. For example, lauded as a premium 5-star hotel in Mumbai, the Leela Mumbai is an island of green situated near the international airport. The exterior of the hotel includes 11 acres of ornate gardens and cascading waterfalls. Moving on to the third sub-element under Servicescape, signs, symbols and artifacts. Now these are used to educate and train the customer. It also includes certifications from valid authorities to confirm the proficiency and trustworthiness of the service provider. Doctor's degree, non-smoking and seatbelt signs in a flight, instruction to different zones in a hotel, instructions inside a bank, etc. fall under the gamut of signs, symbols and artifacts. Lastly, the concept of a symbol can be explained through Air India's Indian Airlines mascot, the Maharaja. Since Air India has been symbolized by Maharajas since decades, the company has decided to tweak its image to make it more in tune with the changed times. And finally, the other area of physical evidence, tangibles. Tangibles representation of service include brochures, uniform, letterheads, business cards, reports, internet presence, and equipment, etc. Some restaurants have a unique method of using an iPad to take orders. Thus, the iPad is a tangibility factor here. Additionally, insurance policies given by insurance companies, uniforms given by hospitals, etc. fall under the purview of tangibles. So that's it, folks. This brings an end to the topic on physical evidence. These are the list of sources and links referred to for the content in the video. Thank you.